guys, welcome back to Pop Culture Addicts. I am Tim, I am your host, and this is the show that is made by this nerd for all you nerds. So I'm glad you guys could join us tonight. Now, our guest tonight in the creator corner is somebody that has been a guest on our monthly RPG. But most importantly, she's an amazing indie artist who has made her name in chalk drawings of things of pop culture, like wicked awesome pop culture drawings. And if you're frequenting Comic-Cons in the Midwest, there's a very good chance you've seen her work. Now, she's also got a podcast that she's been working on. We're going to talk to her a little bit about that. So, and if you're not familiar with her, we're going to talk about her work. So you'll be able to find her on socials, find her website, and figure out all the cool things that you should be buying from her and supporting this amazing indie artist. Now, in our chat tonight, we're going to discuss her origin story, her fandoms, and how these influence her art, and other things as well. We'll have some fun. Now, if you're new here, take a moment to please click that like and follow button. I'd really hate for you to miss out on not only these cool creator content, but our other pop culture interviews as well. So at this time, I'd like your help to have me welcome, or help me welcome. Anyway, we're going to welcome a guest, and that's just the way it's going to work. I'm very excited to welcome back Beth Tobias, aka the Chalk Girl, to Pop Culture Addicts. Welcome to the show, Beth.
Hi, thank you. What an introduction. I love it.
Yeah. I was like that close to sticking the landing too. I was so proud of myself. I started thinking, you're doing it, Tim. You're doing a good job on this one. All right. You didn't start. Oh, crap.
No, you did great. You did absolutely great. Thank you very much for having me.
If you keep talking like that, we'll keep you around. All right. All right, Beth. One of the things I love to talk about with people when they come on the show, and we're just going to jump right into this because for those of you playing the home version of the game, that was the stuff pre-recorded. We had to stop talking because we were like 12 minutes into recording and we hadn't even gotten into the actual show yet. We're like, so that's very easy to talk to, and it doesn't take long to have a good conversation. But now that we've told you all that, we'll tell you this. So the question I love to ask everybody, Beth, and I do this for two reasons. Number one, I like to know what makes people tick. I like to know why it is you do what you do. Why did you choose this line of work and things, okay? And then secondly, I'm a massive nerd, and I like a good origin story for my heroes. And you are the hero of tonight's story. So, in the story of the Chalk Girl, what made you say, I want to be an artist?
I love all of that. That was great. Making me feel way more important than I probably am. So long story short, I've been drawing since I was really little. My mom and her dad and uncle are all artists. And I have two very athletic older siblings. So when they were on the court or on the field, I was on the sidelines with crayons and a coloring book and all of that stuff. Every youngest child with athletic older siblings knows what it's like to go to those weekend-long tournaments and needing to occupy yourself with something. Sure. So that's what we did. And it had kind of always been just something that I could do and B soon got good at. Like, I don't know really what other families did after dinner, but sometimes my mom and I would just hang out and color, and like you just kind of hone that over the years, and it slowly becomes a passion and you get slowly better. And then in school, you're like, ooh, I really like the way my project turned out compared to other kids' project. And it just kind of fuels you to go a little bit farther. In terms of chalk specifically, I was really bored when I was home from college one summer. And so I went out on my driveway and I said, it's a nice day outside. Let's play with some sidewalk chalk. And I drew the first Harry Potter book cover with the same Crayola chalk that anyone gets at anywhere.
Okay.
I did that. It stuck around for a week or two until it rained. And then I did a whole bunch of Pixar characters. I really wanted to be an animator or in the animation specter when I grew up. And so I was hooked on those characters and took photos of these drawings. The next summer, I applied for any job that I could get at Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois. And
Okay.
having gone directly to the entertainment department, I was like, utilize my artistic talents in the theater. I didn't really know how their theater production operated, but I was like, I can paint sets, I can do this, I can do that. Like, let me know if there's anything you can do. And they saw these pictures of my sidewalk chalk in a portfolio I had brought with me. And they said, can you draw Bugs Bunny? And I said, as long as I have a picture, I can draw anything. And so they made me a job where every day during the summer, I would go out on the midway and I would draw either the Looney Tunes characters or Justice League characters, or they also had rights to the Hanna-Barbera characters at the time.
Nice.
I would do one character or a collage or something every day. It would get washed down at night and I would do a new one the next day. So that's 5 summers of me just honing sidewalk chalk in front of thousands of people, like hundreds of thousands of people. And so that's where I really figured out that it was a cool medium. I learned how to use it, how to blend, how to make colors that you shouldn't be able to make because I would run out of certain things. And then that program ended. And another long story condensed rather short, I, on a whim, signed up for a comic convention. And I was like, I want to draw the characters that I want to draw. I want to see if the people resonate with it who are at these already like nerd malls, if you will. I want to see if they like it and if they respond to it the same way that the guests at Six Flags had. And it turns out they did. And then about a month after my first convention, where we got very lucky by meeting some celebrities and they had posted pictures of me and tagged me on their Instagrams and social media. About a month after that, my husband and I looked at each other and were like, do we think we could turn this into a job? Could I do this full time? And so we made a company in 2016. And here I am celebrating 10 years later of the Chakra. I know it's quite a story.
That's an awesome story. That's an awesome story. And kudos to you for doing this for 10 years, man.
Yeah,
really cool.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane to think about it. And I love it. I love the story. I would tell it a million times over, but yeah.
No, that is really cool. Yeah, because when I think about, and this has nothing to do with you or a slight towards you in any way, just mainly because I'm a giant sissy and I don't like the sounds of things. The sound of like chalk grating over the pavement of the sidewalk that's like fingernails on a chalkboard to me the whole time. I'd be like, ah.
It's not for everyone. It's really not for everyone. And I didn't realize that some people actually have like a physical aversion to the feeling of chalk. I didn't know that. That was a thing, and people will come up at conventions and do exactly what you just did and be like, how do you exist with all the dust on your hands and the stuff everywhere? And I end up getting it like all over my face and like my clothes and stuff, and they're just like, how can you touch it? And I was like, it's just dust.
See, I don't have a problem with the dust. I don't have a problem with chalk for the most part, but I just know what it would sound like as it's drawn, because I was a kid. I played with sidewalk chalk.
Yeah.
I know what that sounds like. And every time I would try and write or draw something, or when my kids were younger and they would try and write or draw something, I was like, okay, Dad's going to go inside now. You do the thing because Dad can't take this sound. He's a bit of a pansy. Got to go now. Bye.
It's legit though. It's totally legitimate. And I don't know if it would be any different. It probably wouldn't be that much better, but I draw on a canvas, and so it's a little bit, it's not the same feeling as drawing on asphalt or sidewalk, but I can totally understand why some people don't like that sound, that feeling. And even when I do certain techniques, like there's a whole bunch of different ways you can use chalk, and sometimes like my husband can't be in my studio when I'm drawing. He's like, yeah, I don't like that sound.
I would think shading would do that because you got to go back and forth, and
I use my fingers for a lot of that, so it just sounds like
that would be better then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That is not nearly as painful or as I had imagined that in my head, and was already starting to get the creepy feeling down my spine. So
Uh-huh.
okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, that is a very cool story, though. I like the origin. I like how you discovered where I like that you discovered your passion and you followed it to a career. I love hearing when people do that. It creates such a genuine feeling of excitement about not only who you are as a person, but also what you do and why you do it. And that makes me more uh, interested in your work, because there's always a difference when you can tell with people who are doing what they're doing because they have to or because they want to. There's a
Yeah.
difference. So and it's very clear that you do it because you want to, and I just think that's awesome. So
I got really lucky too. I will say, just because we're talking about it right now, I think that my equation or my cocktail of success has come from a combination of skill and support. Not everyone has the second half.
oh sure,
A lot of people have
sure,
skill, but like not everyone gets the support of at least not. I mean, I have, my family is very artistic in different ways. My dad is not a visual artist, but like he can kind of understand the idea behind getting an artist up and running. And so like I had a lot of support from them, and I also have a lot of support from my husband. So it's a team effort, it's a group effort through and
for
through.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to have a little bit of luck along the way, or you're not going to. Nobody makes it just on. I mean, everybody I've talked to, and I've by the time your episode airs, we're going to be over 300 interviews on this show,
Amazing.
and
Amazing.
every single person I've talked to, whether they're just starting out, as an author, or they've been acting, or a voice actor, a singer, producer, whatever they may be, they will tell you that there had to be a certain amount of luck that aligned with their skill.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to get lucky. It's okay to have that little bit of fortune shining on your shoulder. So that's
Yeah.
all right. Don't discredit that. That's an okay thing. So
Well, thanks.
yeah. All right, Beth, let's talk about fandoms. I
Yes.
I want to know, now you mentioned that your love for the Pixar
Mhm.
characters, and the first thing you drew was Harry Potter, and
Mhm.
but what is your favorite fandom? Like, if you had to walk into a room and say, I can only draw that right now, so that's what I'm going to draw because that's what catches my attention and makes me happy. What
Yeah.
is that fandom?
Critical Role. If
Nice.
you've ever
Okay.
heard. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
For those who don't know, it's a group of nerdy ass voice actors. That is their tagline. Who
Uh-huh.
decided to, well, they didn't even decide, they got invited to take their home RPG, tabletop RPG, and they got to put it on a podcast, and it became just D&D online for a long time, and that is like, they are my ride or die fandom at the moment.
Nice. I could
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are fantastic.
Um, yeah, we just had Felicia Day on.
Oh,
Um,
awesome. Yay.
yeah, that was a really fun talk. We talked a little bit about her work with, like, um Vox Machina and the Mighty
Yeah,
Nine, and of course Critical Role, but most importantly, she was talking about relaunching the guild. So we talked mostly about
sure.
that.
Sure.
But yeah, okay. All right. That is a very cool one. I like that. And there's so many cool characters that you can get
Hmm.
underneath the Critical Role umbrella.
Hmm.
Okay. What's your number two? I gotta know you're not at least your top two.
At the moment, I am addicted to, I've gotten back into books. And so
Okay.
if you've heard of Fourth Wing,
Yes.
it's a popular romantasy, a book that kind of went nuts on TikTok about two,
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago. And I am utterly obsessed and would love, love, love to draw. I'm putting it out in the universe. I would love to draw something for Fourth Wing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or
Well,
paint.
hey,
Yeah.
you gotta throw it up against the universal wall, see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. Yeah, my daughter is um a, a book connoisseur.
Love it.
Um and yeah, I when she tells me I just want to get one book at the store, I know she's lying. We're at least looking at five. Uh
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
but yeah, so yeah, she too was stuck on the Fourth Wing series for a while.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
have to
so
show you a
good.
picture of her bedroom sometime. The bookshelf we built into her wall. And my wife and her are both really big book nerds.
Mhm.
And for our living room, uh, the contractor is going to come and do the work in a little bit because I have ideas, but I shouldn't be allowed anywhere near tools.
Oh, sure.
Um, yeah, I am not mechanically inclined. I am vocabularily inclined. Uh,
We
I
all have our
I tell
strengths.
yeah, yeah. I can do now. If you, I always tell people, I'm like, if you need something deconstructed, I'm your guy.
There
If
you
you
go.
need it constructed and you want it to be level and look right, don't ask Tim to do it. So, but we got a guy coming. We got a guy for that.
Got a guy.
Um, we got a guy. Yeah, it's one of my buddies. Now, 2 days we call him D&D. Uh, but D&D are coming and they're going to build bookshelves in my living room. And my wife bought one of those Beauty and the Beast ladders to slide across the entirety of the living room. Yeah,
I'm
she's
jealous. So
she's
jealous.
she found that at we have a local auction house around here. She found that
Mhm.
at this auction house for like
So cool.
$75, and it
That's
comes with
so cool.
she got a ridiculous price and she knows it. And so I'm
Amazing.
telling you that because if she was standing at the doorway, she'd come running over my shoulder. She's like, I got it for 75. So
Yeah, yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, brag it up because that was an expensive ladder.
That's amazing though. That's so cool. I am Dream House, Dream Studio has that bookcase that has the rolling ladder on it. Oh my gosh. So
Absolutely.
cool.
I get
So
that.
cool.
All right. So cool. You got a couple really cool fandoms. Now, how
Mhm.
do those fandoms influence your work, your art that you do on a day-to-day basis?
So I again got really lucky. I have drawn a picture of Critical Role's second campaign, The Mighty Nine, and
Okay.
it was my baby. Like it was over 200 hours of physical work, and then probably another 100 of research, and just kind of mocking up a drawing on my computer beforehand. Um, but this picture ended up being 6 feet by 10 feet. And I had done it, I finished it during, I think it was either September or October of 2020. So it kind of carried me through the pandemic and
Nice.
just helped kind of ground me. I had only discovered Critical Role towards the end of 2019 anyway. So I was like deep into it. I was listening for the first and second time to some of their campaigns, and going along with them in real time, which for anyone who has listened to their stuff, it's hundreds of hours. It's lots and lots of content. So to catch up and be like in the current game is it takes a while. But I was deep into that. I made this drawing. I posted a video of it online, and almost the entire cast commented on it when I did that. It was cool. It was one of the coolest things of my life to like see all these
That's
people just
awesome.
commenting on. Flash forward to not this year, but last year at C2E2, they were all there, and I had a friend who got me in line, and I had it with me. I had the original, and I got to talk to Travis Willingham, who is one of their CEOs. And I just
Hmm.
said, hey, you guys have seen this thing that I have. It's so much cooler in person, though. If there's any chance that, like, before lunch, after lunch, before a panel, after a panel, could I just show it to you? Like, that would make my year. And he's
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure. And he immediately talks to their event coordinator and he tells her the situation. And she brings me behind all of their signing lines, and we go into like this. Every convention creates like a secret pathway for the celebrities so
Right.
that they don't have to walk through the crowds and stuff. And so she brings me back there, And she tells another one of the staff, like, okay, that for the next 15 minutes, our mission is to bring each and every one of them out of their signing line to see this and to sign it. And I was like, you don't have to do that. That was not my thing. Like, this sounds
Right.
inconvenient. And there are all these people that are waiting in line. Like, please, that would make me feel so awkward. And she's like, no, this is what we're going to do. And I was like, okay.
Okay, I'll stop arguing.
So shout out to Brittany. But she made it possible where everyone got to come and see it, and I got to meet everyone. I got a photo with everyone, and they all signed this big picture. I forget Cloud 9. I was on Cloud 90. Like, it was one of the coolest days of my life. I don't have the desire to meet a lot of celebrities, but like Critical Role was on the list, #1. And so like, it was just amazing. That being said, I told them when I drew it, I was like, I discovered a long time ago that this is the best and most me way I know how to say thank you. So for all the moments that when we are watching a movie or a television show or reading a book or getting deep into comic lore, whatever it is that you're really nerdy about, like that feeling that you have in your chest when something cool happens, or like even for the sports fans out there of like when your team wins, like you have that feeling, you have that community kind of just gratitude and like, thank God I'm alive in a time of this. And I told Matthew Mercer, I was like, this is the most me and the best way I know how to say thank you. So thank you for the nugget of amazing just creativity that you've put out into the world, and for sharing it with us and taking the leap and doing the dive and all that. And so when I want to draw something or am reading or watching or whatever, like there is that pull inside that is like, I really want to draw this because it hits me in the same way. And there are some pictures that I've never seen the content at all. So like I'm working on an Alien piece right now. I've seen the first half of the first movie and that's it. So there is definitely a different feeling when I'm working on those pictures that I do have a connection with. It's why I want to draw Fourth Wing so bad. It's why I want to draw more Critical Role. It's why when like any movie that I see or book that I read that just has that same tug, like that's the inspiration behind it. And so the more of that I have and the more time I'm given to work on a piece like that, the better it turns out to be. And so like trying to answer your initial question, like that feeling that we all get when we have like found our thing, or when we can rejoice with the people, when you want to be a part of that community, like that is what influences the drawings every day.
That's a wonderful answer. I really,
Thanks.
no, seriously, it's a wonderful answer because it just reinforces to me that this is not just something you're doing because it's something you're doing because it's something you love. And
it really
that,
is.
again, I go back to, the difference between your heart's in it versus you have to do it. And, there's people, and I think that you probably fall into this category where you're a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. You have to do it because that's what your heart tells you to do. So you're doing this because I'm good at it. I enjoy it. This is what I love doing. And so, yeah. And now it's work, but it's a work you love. So that's awesome. Not many people can say that they do something for their job that they love. And so kudos to you for being able to do that.
Thank you.
All right. Well, with that thought in mind, we're never just one thing. Now, many people show their artistic abilities through a variety of different means. So for Beth, the chalk girl, what is a skill that you possess that only a few people know about? Another way for you to express your artistic abilities.
Okay. In terms of art, I don't know if I've met a lot of people that can do this. I've definitely seen folks like on TikTok or something explain it in this way. This is why, are you familiar with the comic book character Echo? They had a show for it. She's like in the
Oh,
Daredevil
yeah.
realm.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before they made the show, I haven't watched it yet, but she has been my favorite comic book character for a while because she can watch something. She can watch you play piano. She's deaf, but she can watch you do martial arts or watch you play the piano or watch you make a paper crane or something, origami, and then she can do it. It's kind of like I've seen how it's done. I can take that information and then I can recreate it. I can spit it back out.
Okay.
I have a little bit of that when it comes to arts and crafts and drawing and stuff like that. So I have made in the past. I have very little sewing experience, but I have made my friends one of one like stuffed animals that turned out pretty good because I looked at another stuffed animal and saw how like the seams were sewn and like
Okay.
I took this character and I kind of deconstructed it in my head and then put it back together over here and I had like nothing to go off of. I basically like made my own pattern. Or pottery. People say that like pottery it's more of a feeling than it is a visual thing. Like when you're actually throwing clay on a wheel, like you need to feel it and stuff. Like there's certain things that I've been able to do the first time around by watching someone else. And I think that's very, very helpful when it comes to learning or drawing something new or using a new medium. It's just I think it's just a little bit easier for me to go like to do it on the first go around. Or maybe I just don't have that block in my head. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I could never do that. And I'd be like, let me try.
There you go.
Yeah. So I think that very much helps, especially because when you think about it, I'm just a glorified human Xerox machine. I look at one picture, I put it in my head, and then it comes out as another thing. So I think that helps me with that. And I love these questions, Tim. These are great questions.
Well, thank you. I try. Every once in a while, you get lucky. And real quick for our listeners, if you're enjoying this conversation, don't forget to click that like and subscribe button.
Yeah. Click it.
All right. So, Beth, you mentioned origami cranes. I have had a little birdie tell me that you're really spectacular at making these. And that you do it
my
quite
camera
often.
is terrible, but
I can see it, though. I hear
yeah.
you make these quite often at dinner tables.
Yes. The little papers that come wrapped around your silverware.
Yeah.
I don't frequent bars. I don't go to pubs, but this is my bar trick. I can make a tiny paper crane out of these. I'm actually making, she won't see this thing until later. I'm currently making 40 of these for my sister because she turned 40. So I have a small handful right next to me on this desk.
Oh, I love it. All right. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Tell your sister 40 is no big deal. 50.
Okay.
You get up towards 50 and you rethink a few things. Like, where did that bruise come from? Why does that knee hurt today? So a little more than you did when you were 40.
Good thing she's a physical therapist. So she's pretty in tune. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Now, Beth, you sell your art at shows. You sell your art online. What's the best way for someone to speak with you, to reach out to you, to talk about having and commissioning you for a piece of art?
So I love that question. Unfortunately, at the moment, my commissions are closed. However, you could still email me at thechalkgirl@gmail.com and we start a conversation. And it's very hard for me I know that people really want a price right off the bat. They want to know, that's usually their first concern. And
sure.
I have to know all the details before I can give anyone any kind of price. So it starts a conversation of how big, with what medium, how many characters. I'm not really into drawing people's dead relatives or pets. that's not my thing. I know a lot of people do that, but I really only like to draw fandoms. You'd be surprised how many people are like, this is really photorealistic. How about my mother? And I'm like, yeah.
Can you draw my Mima?
Literally. No, I don't tend to do those things. But if we're talking fandoms and if we're talking something that you're passionate about, I also tend not to do a lot of sports ball stuff. There's enough of that in the world, but fandom stuff I'm all about. And we just have a conversation about that via my email. At the moment, it would go into a special folder, and we would contact you when my commissions open up.
Okay, that's completely fair. I think it's good that you've placed some boundaries there, and not just the I don't want to draw your dead granny boundaries, but
it's
that
true.
just seems awkward. I get it, but I think it's good because I know a couple other artists who had to eventually get to a point where they'd have commissions open for so long, and they were dealing with tremendous burnout. Because what they found out was happening, they were losing their joy, the joy of drawing, the happiness that they would get by going into their studio to do their drawings and everything. That was their happy place, but it was now, it was a drudge. It was, they'd have to force themselves to go in. But once they started setting boundaries as to, hey, I'm only going to have commissions open for this long. I'm only going to take X number of commissions, and put some limitations on things, that's when they started to enjoy their drawing again. Did you have a similar experience? It seems like.
I'm currently digging myself out of that experience.
Okay.
So that's why I have the boundaries right now. For a very long time, it was impossible for me to say no. I said yes to everyone and everything, whether it was a project I wanted to do or not. I just wanted the work, and you want to get your name out. And when you're new to this, every project feels like it's going to be the one that's going to send you off, that's going to rocket ship you up to the moon.
Sure.
And that's how you're going to get to where you want to go. That's not the case. And so I also take my time, and I also have a life outside of being an artist. Like sometimes I do more non-chalk girl stuff in a day than I do chalk girl stuff. And so it's very hard to predict when I'll have it ready for someone, especially if they're a higher profile client. So I've had voice actors ask me to do art for pictures for their table, so that when people come up to get signatures, they can pick this print or something. I've had other celebrities that I've met request the originals that I've done. And when you have all the time in the world, things go fast. But when there are things like I'm a caregiver for an aunt, I have to make sure that this home is livable. Like stuff like that. Like there's other things that kind of get in the way. So you lose track of time a little bit.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, I'm still working on this list of to-dos. It's right above my computer. I can see I'm getting close. I'm getting really close to being able to accept commissions, but I can still tell you that won't happen until 2027. So
and that's
there's
fair.
a lot
Yeah,
going
absolutely.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. Too, I think that because I have a chronically ill daughter and I have a chronically ill wife, people don't understand the levels of exhaustion that a caregiver goes through. And it's more than just physical exhaustion. There's emotional exhaustion, there's mental exhaustion, spiritual exhaustion, and those all join forces of evilness. So away from drawing, away from caregiving, how do you recharge your batteries? How do you make it so that when you have a little bit of Beth time, what do you do with that Beth time to help you reclaim your joy?
At the moment, I'm rereading the Fourth Wing series, so I just got into Iron Flame, and I literally have to hold myself back from doing that because I know that if I get started, there'll be days when that's all I end up doing because they're so good. The books are so good.
Love it.
Other than that, I play D&D. I have a group that I have been playing with since 2019, and we are
Nice.
lucky that our schedules are flexible enough to at least play twice a month, if not once a week. So we're very lucky to be able to do that and to have the place to do that. That recharges some batteries. I really wish that I could get back into running. I used to do like 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons. And I have a chronic back issue from drawing on the ground for so many years. And
Okay.
15, 16 years later, it hasn't gotten any better. And so there are days when you are on complete bed rest because you can't bend at the waist. Like you
That's a
struggle with that a
problem.
little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. So
Okay.
no, but the reading and the D&D, and I love video games. I don't get to play them nearly as much as I want to, but I do love a good video game.
You need to get yourself one of those Backbone handheld controllers so you can just plug your phone in and play from your bed.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I just got one. Freaking love that thing. It's a problem.
Good for you.
It's a problem. It's a guaranteed problem. But yeah.
Does it make you happy?
It does.
Okay, great.
Does. Yeah, because like I could play my Xbox from it, and
Love it.
so yeah, it's
Love
a problem, but it's a good problem. It's a happy Tim problem. So yeah. All right. Well, Beth, you have answered all of my questions just fantabulously.
Oh,
but I have one
thanks.
more question for you. And we call this our silly question.
Okay.
All right. It's really not all that silly, actually. So this started because Kathleen, my live show host, Kathleen. So her and her daughter were out and about. Somebody asked this of her daughter, but not Kathleen. And Kathleen was like, well, that's rude. You should never age out of this question.
Okay.
So that question is, Beth Tobias, a.k.a. Chalk Girl, what's your favorite dinosaur?
I had a feeling this was going to be it. I really did. I really did. Gosh. And you know what? I should have taken a moment to actually think about it. From my limited knowledge of dinosaurs, I would say everyone, like all the people that watch like Jurassic Park and stuff, you're afraid of the little raptor guys. They're speedy and they're quick and they come after you and they could just tear you apart. Kind of reminds me of like all the what was it in oh my gosh, why am I gonna forget the sci-fi movie with Alan Rickman and the Galaxy Quest, like when they're on the planet and like all the little guys come over the hill and they just like tear each other. But I think the raptors are pretty cool.
That's fair.
My first answer went to like a pterodactyl. Those things had to be pretty cool. But I think the raptors are like, I would fear them significantly. I'd fear most dinosaurs, but I would fear the raptors the most, and they're probably cool. Yeah.
I'm more
Can I
afraid
ask
of
you
pterodactyls.
because they can just like swoop down and eat you.
Well, you never hear a pee.
Oh, got it. That too. Can I ask you a silly question in return?
Absolutely. 1000%.
Okay. I literally just did this with a friend. We just went through a whole slew of them because I guess it's becoming a trend now for nurses and folks that have a workplace where there's kind of a common area to put a question on a whiteboard, and people will just ask for suggestions on TikTok and stuff. But my question, let's see. I'm going to ask you if every animal in the world was the size of a Labrador, which one would you be most terrified of?
The honey badger.
Okay.
Because that thing on its own, as the size as it
Uh-huh.
is, it has zero craps to give about anything. And now you
Uh-huh.
make that thing bigger
Uh-huh.
and it has that same level of ferocity.
Yeah.
I'd have to go with honey badger.
Yeah. My
Honey
first
badger for 1,000,
inclination,
Alex.
my first inclination was a mosquito. I'd be very terrified of a
Oh,
Labrador-sized mosquito.
oh yeah, because
But
that nozzle has to be like,
mhm. Mhm.
yeah, that
Um
I hadn't thought about that.
and Kyle, my husband, said a chihuahua.
Yeah.
Because they're just like
So
little shaking balls of anger, and then if you actually give it the size it thinks it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You,
But
you give the
no,
devil dog its strength. Yeah, that'd be a problem.
yeah.
Oh,
No, I love questions like this. I love them.
all right. No, that's a great question. I might even steal that for a future interview. I like that.
I have like 30 of them if you want more. They're so good.
Excellent.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Well, Beth, thank you so much for being on Pop Culture Addicts today. Where can my listeners go to find out more about you, your work, and all the stuff you've got coming up?
Although I am not as communicative as I would like to be, the first place for news and updates is Instagram and Facebook, which are both just at the Chalk Girl. And
Okay.
then I also have a website, which is Adventures of Chalk Girl. And that website has my entire convention list for the year, where I'm going to be and when I'm going to be there. It has a chance for you to sign up for our newsletter, which I promise is the opposite of spam, because more often than not, I forget to send it once a month. So it becomes more of like a 6 to 8 times a year situation of just, hey, these are the new prints we have. These are, any cool things that may have happened at a previous convention, or these are the ones that we're looking forward to in the next month or two. And then, of course, we always put our sales out through our newsletter. So if you're into like holiday sales, those go out through there. And I would probably say that those are the main places to hear about me, to hear the news, and to stay up to date with everything that's going on.
Okay, cool. Now, in case you're wondering what her Instagram page looks like, it looks a lot like that. And you can see some of her amazing art and her dirty chalk hand down there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's a lot of really cool art on there. And I strongly suggest you guys give her a follow on that. But I'll make sure that we put some links down in the show notes down below so that people can give you a follow and find out on your website and see what Comic-Cons you're going to be attending so that they can buy your art, because this stuff is super cool. Yeah, like, that's ridiculous.
Thanks.
Seriously, that's not just good. That's flipping ridiculous. And I say that not only because it's cool and it's dueling Magnetos, but I also can't draw anything other than an oval and a square. So yeah, so for it to be able to be that detailed, I think is always just like really cool. So
I believe everyone is an artist. You have more potential than you think you do when it comes to drawing.
That's adorable, but no, I do not. But no,
I believe in you, Tim.
Well, one of us should, because it certainly won't be me. So my artistic nature comes out through my mouth when I talk. That's all I got. All right. So guys, thank you for watching and or listening. Be sure to go check out Beth. Check out the Chalk Girl. Follow her on all her socials. Check out her website. Go visit her at Comic-Cons. Support indie artists. It's amazingly important that we do this in the age of AI, where everybody thinks that a computer is better than an artist. They're certainly not. AI is not art when you have people who are this flippin' talented and doing these really cool things. So click that like and follow button for her. And, while you're doing it, you might as well click the like and follow button for Pop Culture Addicts. And if you're a pop culture nerd like me and you're an addict like me, please consider leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform, or just putting a comment right here on YouTube. That also helps as well. So on behalf of Beth Tobias, aka the Chalk Girl, and of course us fine folks here at Pop Culture Addicts. May the force be with you as you continue to live long and prosper. Goodbye. Reference to any specific product or entity mentioned on this podcast does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by Pop Culture Addicts. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. If you have questions about this disclaimer, please contact us via email at info@pcapod.com.